Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm helping you level up your communication skills. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'm dropping a new video on the intangibles. Intangibles such as public speaking, social skills, storytelling, and many more other cool topics. So be sure to join me by hitting that subscribe button along with that bell notification right on below. And let's get started with today's episode, which is titled The Great Pareto Principle. When we envision the word great, what do you envision? I'll tell you what you don't envision. What you don't envision is something that's ordinary. Great is something that's powerful. It has the capability to make us be like, wow, that's unbelievable. Great has the power to make extremely proud people humble. Example, a couple of years back, there was this large hurricane that was headed towards Florida. Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Irma, I don't care how you pronounce it. What I remember from back then was this gargantuan hurricane that was heading towards Florida. And it was dwarfing Florida. The proudest people, skin color, religion, none of that mattered at this moment. Everyone was terrified. And despite different people being terrified, secretly, they were like, wow, this is unbelievable. That's how large that hurricane was. Great does not always imply a positive context. In this situation, great implied a negative context, but nevertheless, it was still unbelievable. That's one phrase that we need to understand. The next phrase is Pareto Principle. Pareto Principle is currently being used differently in different industries, yet the same fundamental truths are valid from industry to industry, and a rough understanding of it is that 20% of your effort is going to lead to 80% results. This is a mind-blowing concept because this concept allows us to make eye contact with non-linear thinking. In linear thinking, 20% of effort should lead to 20% results. But the real world, it don't work like that. In the real world, things are non-linear. And routinely, we see the Pareto Principle showing effects. Plenty of different soda companies out there. One Coca-Cola. Plenty of different e-commerce companies out there. One Amazon. Why is the Great Pareto Principle important for communicators? It's extremely important because it allows us to understand the importance of reps and the importance of being fearless. But just reading Google articles on Pareto Principle is not enough. You gotta have a personal experience with Pareto Principle to truly understand the greatness of it, to truly change the mind from linear thinking to non-linear thinking. And in this episode, I want to give you some examples. Every morning, I go to the gym very early, and after the gym, I go for a walk. I have this set walking routine that I consistently do. And as I'm going for this walk, I see a lot of random stray cats. Nothing looks out of the ordinary, just stray cats. But as I'm wrapping up the walk, I see this one particular cat that catches my eye. My neighbors and different people in this neighborhood are playing with this cat. They too are looking at this stray with awe. Why? Because this cat is a real-world Garfield. What does that even mean? This cat is orange and extremely fat. And it's extremely playful, extremely open. I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to play with it, but I made a mental note of the stray. One particular day, I'm going for a walk and I'm about to wrap up. As I'm about to wrap up, I see this orange cat standing and looking at me. "What's up, cat?" Continues to look at me. And I'm walking closer and closer to it because that's roughly around where my destination is. As I'm walking closer and closer to it, most stray cats run away. But this particular cat, Garfield, is looking at me. And it's looking at me in a very introspective way. It's looking at me like it has me all figured out. I'm walking closer and closer to it. Still, the cat doesn't budge. Standing there, or sitting there, whatever cats do, looking at me. And at this point, I'm looking at it back. And I start to wonder, how is this cat fat? How did this cat gain so much weight? This is a stray cat. Who is feeding this stray cat so much food? And why are all the other stray cats so skinny and this one isn't? I thought about it for some time and I started to connect some of the dots. This was a fearless cat. Most of the other strays, if I walked anywhere near it, would start running. But this one just sat there. And its fearless nature allowed different people from my neighborhood to come play with it. Plenty of different cats, but this one rose to the top. Here it was, a live representation of the Pareto principle in terms of animals. I made a mental note of that. But this was not my only personal experience in regards to the Burrito principle. Another example is this YouTube channel. If you check my YouTube channel and you click my name and you go to the homepage of the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel, on the top, you're going to see recent uploads. And on the bottom, you're going to see popular uploads. Thus far in my YouTube channel, I've uploaded over 300 videos. But in terms of the popular videos, there's just a few that rose to the top. Once again, I see the Pareto principle taking shape, but this time not in the world of animals, but in the world of YouTube channels. Once again, I'm like, this is normal. This happens all the time. But once again, I come into another contact with the Pareto principle, which is my blog. I recommend you check it out sometimes, ArmaniTalks.com. And in my blogs, I've written over 250 of them. Once again, a few rose to the top. Pareto principle with animals, with YouTube channel, with blogs. This isn't something that's normal. This is a great concept. And this is something that needs to be experienced firsthand in order to interpret the greatness of it. Now, what are some lessons in regards to the Pareto principle that we can apply in terms of life and in terms of communication skills? Fearlessness and the importance of putting in repetitions. With this fat cat, I'm sure there's a lot of different people that never feeds it. I'm sure this cat goes to different people and some people are like, get away from me. I'm not gonna give you food. This food is for me and for my pet, not for a stray. Due to the fearlessness of this Garfield-like cat, it still keeps trying and trying and trying, where eventually people budge. While this cat is trying, all the other stray cats are hunting for their food because they're too scared. They run away when people walk towards it, and they don't have that fearlessness like this Garfield-like creature. So due to the fearlessness, repetition is enhanced, and due to the repetition, fearlessness is amplified. With this YouTube example, I could do 7 videos, and 7 of those videos may not be one of those popular videos at the bottom of my channel when you go to the homepage. But still, you got to be fearless and got to keep putting in the reps and the reps and the reps. And just because the 7th one is not in the popular section, the 8th one may be, the 9th one may be, the 10th one may be. The Pareto principle is a concept that needs to be personally experienced no matter which field one person is in. The beauty is that we can create a niche for ourselves in terms of improvement, in terms of communication, and in terms of leveling up in a particular skill set to witness the greatness of this formula firsthand. It's no coincidence that when we walk around nature, routinely we are being presented with this formula. Just like the compounding effect, the Pareto principle is great. It's not routine. It's not ordinary. It's one of these formulas that makes you say, wow, this is unbelievable. And the first time a person comes into contact from their personal experiential database with the Pareto principle, they're going to be like the Floridians a couple of years back when they saw Hurricane Irma. Despite the Floridians being terrified, we saw that something great, something beyond the scope of imagination was taking place. And likewise, when an individual makes eye contact with non-linear thinking for the first time, they too will see something that is great, something that is beyond the scope of their imagination taking place. It just takes one moment to flip the modes of thinking forever. And did I mention that non-linear thinkers make for much better communicators? Be fearless, put in the reps, and allow the reps to make you more fearless. If you want more practical mindset tips, be sure to sign up for my free daily newsletter, which discusses more of these topics in detail. Join me by checking out the link in the pinned comment right on below. And thank you for joining the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel.